guys, welcome to my channel Vinyl Beauty. I'm Debbie, and if you've not been here before, this channel is all about getting creative with makeup, whatever your age. I'm 53 and from the UK, and I'm really into indie makeup. I've got a big collection of indie makeup in my stash, and so I wanted to do a shop my stash video for Halloween and use something from a previous year, and I probably will do a couple of videos like this. But this particular brand, I really enjoy their shadows. I've got 3 of their palettes now, and it's Peachy Queen. So we've used the Pumpkin Spice palette to create a very pumpkin look, very fall appropriate. I'm ready for fall now, and yeah, I really love how it came out. It's super simple to create, no cut creases, nothing intricate really, so I think anyone could do it. So if you want to see how I created it, let's just dive straight into the video. Okay guys, done my base makeup off camera, so I'm all prepped and ready to do everything else with you. So I've done my foundation, powder, concealer and brows. Everything I've used I'll list down in the description box, but I pretty much do the same routine for those every time, so I don't want to get too repetitive in the videos. But I do use this a lot, but I thought we could do this on camera. I'm going to use the LunaTick Cosmetics Lavs Contour Book 1 just to do a little bit of contour. It's one of my favourite things that I own. I always go into these 3 shades. If you've been here before, you've seen me do this a lot, but the way that I kind of get a little bit of shape into like these cheekbones of mine, it instantly kind of just gives you a contour, I guess. That's the point of contour, isn't it? I dip into the 3 different shades because one of them's a little bit more grey toned, and it does help just give you that shadow. I'm not really much for bronzer really, because my skin's so super pale. I just think I look a bit false with bronzer. If I've got a little bit of colour from holiday or whatever, then it doesn't look as bad, but in the winter, and I'm starting to get really pale now, I think it looks really odd on me, unless I go for a really super light one like Hula Light or something, and then there's not really a lot of point in wearing it. So yeah, so that's all I do, just a little bit of contour. I literally don't know what I would do without this. It's been in my collection for about 4 years, and I think it will go on forever, quite honestly, because I use it every single time and there's not a single bit of pan in it. So I don't know how much product is in there, but if you can get your hands on it, totally recommend that actually. Right, for blush today, I wanted to do a very orange, pinky orange kind of blush, and I'm going to use the Juvia's Place Saharan blush palette number 2, because there's a couple of shades were mixed together that really do what I want for this look. So I'm going to use Yara and I'm going to use Tau and kind of mix those 2 shades. Got a Kaleidos B1 brush, going to use that today for my blush. Going in more with the Tau shade, the orangey shade. I'm just going a little bit above where we laid down the contour, but I want to wrap it kind of around as well onto my temples, so we're super blushy, and it kind of almost will melt into the eye look when we have that down. And I love that kind of placement for blush. Apart from eyeshadow, I think blush is my favourite thing in makeup. It used to be highlight, but I think blush just brings so much life to your cheeks, particularly when you're getting older. It just like makes you look more alive. Less ghost-like if you're super pale as me as well, but without looking too, I don't know, false like bronzer does on me. I don't know, it goes back to like more of my rock girl days when I would never think to wear bronzer. I always wanted to be super pale. I'm going to do a bit of blushy on the nose moment as well today, starting to really enjoy that again. I think that looks super cute. Okay, next up is highlight. I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nicole Guerriero Glow Kit, this one here, which is reflecting really badly off my ring light. And the reason I'm going to use this, there's a really gorgeous peachy highlight in here, which I think will melt really nicely into that blush, and it's this one, Daydream. It's not coming off as peach on camera because of the lights, but it is quite peachy, and it's got like little specks of glitter in without being too glittery. It's a really pretty. So kind of layered as a blush topper over that blush. It's really nice. I've done this kind of a look before in my own time, so I know this combination works super well. And that's what's so great about shopping your stash, because I've got things that I know just always work and that I want to use, but obviously having a channel you feel the pressure to use all of the new, but there's some great products that you've probably all got lurking in your makeup drawers that can do a look like this. You don't need to buy all the new to do it. I've got most of the Anastasia glow kits. I love them all. I think they're really pretty glow to those. Right, for the eye look then, I'm going to use the Pumpkin Spice palette by Peachy Queen. You couldn't get much more of a pumpkin themed palette than this. Picked it up in the Black Friday sales last year and I've never used it. So that's a common theme for the things that I picked up in the Black Friday sale. A lot of them were waiting for this Halloween for me to use them, which is silly really. I should have just done it. But this is the palette if you're not familiar with it. So it's the perfect warm tone pumpkin spice palette. It does have one of those sequin shadows, you know, the mattes with sparkle, but I'm going to use that just as a matte to deepen up the look. I want it to sort of be a berry and a sort of pumpkin kind of look together. So I'm going to use some of the more purpley tones as well. So to start off the look, I'm just going to prime as always with the MAC Soft Ochre paint pot. I say as always, this is the one I've been using mostly at the moment. Things like primer I just don't buy until they run out, and that's the reason why I don't test many foundations as well. They're just the boring bits of makeup to me. There's the things that you need to have, but things like blush and eyeshadow palettes are what have my heart, because they're just packaged super interesting, and just it's the creative, more playful side of makeup, isn't it? I couldn't get overexcited about a new foundation or a powder. I just very much stuck in my ways, use what I know works for me. So these shades don't have names, so I'm just going to point to the shades I'm going to use, but to start off the look I'm going to go in with this fawny kind of shade just to create a little bit of depth in my crease before I start. I'm going to use a fairly big brush because, say, it's just to start bringing that dimension to the eye. Don't want anything super complicated for this one. I'm aware that I've done quite a few looks where I've attempted to do cut creases, but I know that I'm not the best at them, and I know they're not easy things for you guys to create necessarily, and I've seen comments saying, you know, you wouldn't do that one because you don't do cut creases. So just wanted to do something that pretty much anyone will be able to do, but hopefully will still turn out an inspiring look and that you might enjoy. I just really wanted to play with some warm tones today because I just don't do that very often these days. So these are the two mattes that I'm going to be playing with. I'm going to start with that one in my outer corner. I'm just going to pack that down. It's not super dark, so I'm going to deepen it up with that sequin shadow. This palette could have been so much better for me personally if that black shade was a shimmer. There's very few good black shimmer shades, and I love a black shimmer. I have got 2 or 3 in my collection, but they are few and far between. They don't seem to be something that the brands want to put in palettes. Don't know why. Do you guys like a black shimmer? Because I think for a smoky eye, a black shimmer with maybe iridescent sparkles in it, whatever, would be absolutely stunning. Yeah, that's not got quite the depth to it I was hoping. I'm going to really pack that down. Doing a sort of rounded shape today, but I always want to lift it sort of at this end of like my eye to just lift my eye basically. I'm not going to do any blending until I've kind of got the colours placed. Right, I'm going to go in with that black shade with the glitter and very carefully build up some definition in this outer corner. I'm only taking a little bit at a time because this does look like it would be fallout heavy because it's got those sparkles in it. So I'm literally just touching to the pan, just deepening up this outer V. I'm not taking it as high as I've gone with the more pinky maroon shade, so I'm keeping that more concentrated into my crease and this outer V area. And the brush I'm using is a Sigma E45, one of my staples that I use all the time, because it's got a point and you can get a little bit precise, but you can sort of almost pack colour on as well. It's a really good blending brush. I don't have any of these high-end Refers and Sonia G's and all of that everybody else has got. I'd love to own them, but I can't justify that sort of amount of money on brushes when I can do the looks equally well with a bit more effort perhaps, but Sigma have good quality and they're not too expensive, so they're about as dear as I would buy. But quite honestly, I've got a lot of Morphe brushes that I like, and I love the Linda Hallberg brushes. If you guys would like a brushes video, and I can tell you which ones to buy if you don't have the budget for, as I say, Refer and Sonia G and Wayne Goss, all of the high-end brushes. I'm just going to pack that original shade. We're only using 2 shades so far. Pack that original shade over kind of where I've got that black. Just start to get a blend there. That's giving me the depth that I'm looking for. I always want a bit of depth in the outer corner of my looks. But as I say, you can't see that that would have been a matte with sparkles, a sequin shadow. Now it's on the eye. That same maroon shade that we started with, just going to take that onto my lower lash line. Just using a Morphe E36 to do that. And connecting up with that outer corner. Super easy so far. And then a brush with no additional product. Just going to start blending now, just around the edges, but I don't want to lose too much of that colour. I might take some of one of the orangey shades around that later anyway. Definitely have lost a bit of that, so just re-intensifying that. Get the depth of colour that I want in it. I don't think that's too bad though. Now I'm going to take the shade next to it, this orangey matte, and I'm going to start dragging through my crease. I'm going a bit higher than my natural crease. I'm going to pack that shade down, and then we'll blend out once it's packed down to the most opacity that I can get. It's not super opaque. I'd say these are pretty good for a beginner kind of shadow because they are building, but they don't go on super opaque off the bat. But I did kind of set my crease with that fawn shade to start with, so that might be why, because they're not going on a sticky base. But I do love the tones of this. I think it's super pretty. Don't need to worry about anything that's fallen down on my lids because we're going to put an orange shimmer there. I think I'm going to take a little bit of the Daydream highlight from here and just put that as a brow bone highlight, which I don't do a brow bone highlight that often, but I just thought might look pretty with this look. A little bit of sparkle up there. And I've used literally every bit of eye space then as well. Then I'm going in with NYX Glitter Primer, just going to put it everywhere where there's no shadow at the moment. I'm not aiming for a cut crease here or anything, so just going to plop it on really, just give me a base for the shadows to adhere to. I'm just stopping where it's sort of getting deeper in this outer corner. And then for the outer part here of my lid, I'm going to go in with this shade. That's pretty. Just going about a third of the way across my lid because I don't want this look to end up too purpley, which is what it's sort of doing. I wanted it to be kind of orange. That's a really pretty reflective foiled shimmer without having any glitter particles on it. I think they're my favourite sort of shimmers really. Just where it's meeting the mattes there in my kind of crease line, I'm just trying to just blend that in just a little. And then for the rest of my lid I'm going in with this shade. So I'll just flip the brush over, I'm using the same one. Oh, this is super pretty. This is going to bring the orange to the look. This one's not quite so reflective though as the purpley one. Right, where those two shimmers meet, I think I'm going to go in with this one just to help with the blend. Yeah, that one's got a bit more warmth to it. Oh, I like the gradient of those going across though, it's pretty. I'm just going to go back into this outer corner and just deepen up a little bit more with that black shade. I do like this black, it's okay, it's, as I say, not too scary off the bat if you're frightened of black. It's a buildable black, but you can't see that glitter in it. On the front part of my crease here, last minute decision to go in with a bit of yellow. I think there's no like inner corner highlight shade, and I don't always need that, but I think a matte yellow could really liven up the look. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of that, as I say, just in this inner crease part. It's not the most pigmented yellow anyway, so I don't think it's going to look crazy or anything. I think if you wanted that one to show, that would need to go on a white base, but it's giving that sort of autumn leaves kind of, where they're changing from like the purpley to orangey tones. That was kind of what I was thinking of for this look, and it works great for that purpose. I've got a bit of room here. I think we'll go in with the bronzy shimmer, this one here. Just going to pick that up on a brush and spray it. I'm actually running out of Fix Plus, but this is the Fix Plus I bought when I started my channel, so this is how long products last. Look, there's a tiny bit left, but I use that pretty much every time I do my makeup, just spray my brush from my lower lash line. It's crazy how long things really do last. Oh, I like that on my lower lash line, that's pretty. Just going to take a bit of that yellow shade just underneath that bronzy shade we've just laid down, and all the way along actually, just to kind of tie everything together. Wasn't sure about this look when I started, but I quite like it now. Okay, so that's the look to this point. Just going to hop off camera for the finishing touches, something in my waterline, mascara and a lip, and I'll be right back with you to wrap up the video. Okay guys, so this is the finished look, of course. You saw it in the intro. I love this one. I think these kind of tones really suit my skin tone. I've always enjoyed like these peachy orangey tones on myself. It's not often that I wear a kind of orangey lipstick though. I tend to go for deeper tones, but I do like this one. It's an old one. It's by Dose of Colours and it's the shade Campfire. They've repackaged now. I don't know if they still do this shade, but if they do, really do recommend it because it's orangey toned without being like in your face orange, and that's what I like about it. In my waterline I've gone for Altair Flash by LH Cosmetics, just a glint of orange shining there, just to really tie the look together. And yeah, that was pretty much it. BadGalBang mascara just to top it off. And yeah, I think this is an easy one to create. I think anyone could do it, so I'd love to know if any of you have a go at doing this one. It's very fall or autumnal appropriate, and yeah, the tones just work so well together. If you've got this palette in your collection or anything similar that's got some kind of orangey tones and some more mulberry sort of purpley tones, then you could create this look, and then you just need a black. But this one is perfect for doing what I've done today, so I had a great time doing it. So yeah, that brings us to the end of the tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you like seeing me bring some things in that are a bit older. I know this isn't available anymore, but as I say, I'm sure you can dupe the vibes a bit with whatever you've got if you don't have this one. But that brings us to the end, guys. Hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next one. Bye guys.